We're gonna walk through a turkey thigh birria taco where we are going to make our own tortillas. I know it sounds crazy. It's really, really simple. We're gonna show you exactly how to do it. And we're gonna incorporate some of those traditional holiday flavors into it. So we're gonna make a little cranberry chutney that's gonna go into it. And then some of those typical taco garnishes, onions and cilantro and limes. And it's gonna be fantastic. So anyways, we're gonna start with turkey thighs, okay? These are boneless, skinless turkey thighs. So for this recipe and all of our recipes, we use Premium Meats, and they happen to be running a promotion for the game this Sunday. So be sure to check them out at premiummeatsonline.ca. We're gonna do this in stages. Typically, you would wanna do this the night before and have it marinate overnight. We don't have that time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna season it. And in this seasoning, we've got a little bit of cinnamon, clove, oregano, cumin, salt and pepper, okay? So we're just gonna season these up. Be brave with it. It's, there's no point in doing anything sort of halfway with this, right? And we wanna get it all over the meat. And what you're gonna do is this is gonna sit along with the paste that we're gonna make overnight, all right? So there you go. You got your rub turkey, super simple. So we've got chipotle, which is just a smoked jalapeno in adobo, which is a sort of rich, spicy tomato-based sauce, right? That goes in. Now, you can use sort of like a blender like this if you have it at home. If you don't have it at home, not a big deal. So most people have a mortar and pestle, or even you can use your knife and just chop it up. This is just quick and easy for me to do, right? We've got ancho peppers, which we've rehydrated in some boiling water. Okay, we're gonna take those out. Don't throw that water out. We're gonna use a little bit of it, right? All we're gonna do with these, so they've softened now, we're just gonna take the tips off, throw those out, right? Chop them up, they go in. Okay, next up, red wine vinegar, about 2 tablespoons. Throw that in. So as we're doing this, we are gonna use half of this to rub the turkey overnight. And then we're gonna reserve half of it for cooking the turkey the next day, right? 2 tablespoons of garlic goes in, right? We just grab our lid, on it goes. Now this is what I was saying, save a little bit of the water. So take a little bit of the water, add it in. So first we're gonna bring this turkey back here. Right? Take half of this, and we're gonna rub up the turkey. And then all we're gonna do is we're just gonna wrap this tightly, throw it in the fridge overnight. Next thing we're gonna do is, we obviously don't have the time to let it rest overnight. So get yourself either a Dutch oven or a casserole dish with a tight fitting lid, okay? So 1 onion is gonna go in. So we're gonna drop the turkey right onto the onions, right? We're gonna add 2 bay leaves and then about a cup of water. We're just gonna add the remainder of the paste that we made earlier. And we're gonna use the juice that's underneath. That's why we're adding the milk. One is to add moisture to the dish. And the other part is, you'll see later, we're gonna dip the tortillas into that, toast the tortillas after they've been cooked. You're gonna drop that right into the oven. This is after it's sat for about 24 hours, okay? And you're gonna cook this to about 3 hours at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until the internal temperature of the turkey is about 195. That'll be sort of the key time where you can take it out and be able to pull the meat apart, which is perfect. So straight in the oven, 3 hours. So next up is we're gonna do a cranberry chutney. So all we have here is we've got about 1 pound of frozen cranberries, brown sugar, butter, garlic and ginger, and a little bit of cranberry juice. All right, so we're gonna get our pan started, medium-high heat. We're gonna add our butter to the pan, okay? As soon as that starts getting melty, we're gonna add our garlic and ginger. Again, the whole thing is gonna cook down into a syrupy chutney. So we're not overly concerned about really sauteing to get any color on the garlic and ginger. It's just to sort of flavor the butter and get the base of the seasoning we want for the cranberry chutney. And what's gonna happen is the brown sugar and the juice, the natural juice from the cranberries, is gonna help thicken it over its cooking period. So we've got the butter just melting. We're gonna add our garlic. We're gonna add our ginger. And right away, you start to get that perfume from the garlic and ginger. All right, we're gonna add our brown sugar. As soon as you start smelling the garlic and the ginger, you can just go ahead, dump all your cranberries in. Don't worry about making sure that they break down. Throughout the cooking process, they're gonna break down anyways, right? So we just combine all of that. Add our cranberry juice. Now this is 2 cups of cranberry juice. So we're gonna bring that to a boil, and then we're gonna let it simmer, and it's gonna naturally thicken up. You'll know when it's done. Like when it's cranberry sauce-like, you're done. Take it off the stove when it starts to thicken, because it's gonna continue to thicken afterwards. Okay, so next up, we're gonna do a little garnish board for the tacos. The only thing we're not gonna be able to do at the moment is the cranberry sauce, which is cooking in the back. So we're gonna do some traditional taco toppings plus the sort of holiday turkey or cranberry chutney. So we're gonna do a little bit of onion, right? So again, like, you don't have to have the best knife skills in the world, but try and get them a little bit finer than sort of what we did for the turkey itself. We're just gonna shred a little bit of this cabbage here. And then limes. Limes are awesome. Okay, and then last up is a little bit of fresh cilantro. You know what? We're just gonna leave it whole and let people tear it into their own tacos. So the only thing left is we're gonna have the cranberry chutney, and then we're gonna have the meat and the tortillas, and it's gonna be awesome. All right, guys, tortillas. It might seem daunting, and honestly, if you don't feel like tackling this, don't worry about it. Just go and get some flour tortillas, go get some corn tortillas, get whatever you want from the grocery store. It works just the same. But I just wanna show you how easy it is to make tortillas at home, or any flatbread for that matter. For these tortillas, really simply, there's all-purpose flour, some warm, tepid water, and canola oil, a little bit of salt, right? And then you guys have probably all seen these before. This is a tortilla press, right? You drop your dough in there, you press it, done. Not everybody has one of those. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you how to do it with with a rolling pin. Most people have a rolling pin, and that's what we're gonna do. So the one thing is you're gonna make this dough, and then you're gonna let it sit for about 2 hours before you actually wanna roll it out into its portions. Now the recipe I have here is gonna make about 16 4-inch tortilla shells, or flour tortillas. So I've got 300 grams of all-purpose flour here. You're just gonna create sort of a well, add your water into the middle, okay? A little bit of salt, 25 grams of canola oil right into the middle. So we just start in the middle, right? And we're just gonna try and pull a little bit of the flour in from the outsides, right? And then you're gonna start getting this sort of shaggy dough here, right? Once you get to that shaggy dough part, you can fold it out onto your work surface, right? And then we're gonna try and work it together. It's gonna take a little bit. If you want, get yourself a table scraper or a dough scraper. It'll help. And we're just gonna keep working this dough until all the flour here is incorporated into it. And eventually, once you work it long enough, you're gonna end up with a nice smooth dough. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cook all of our tortillas in this cast iron pan. We want it on super high heat. The best thing about cast iron is it's gonna hold the heat, and it's gonna hold it evenly throughout the whole pan. right? And we're not putting any oil in here or anything else. All these tortillas just get cooked dry, and it's super quick. So when we get to this stage, we wanna make sure that we have two things ready. One, just a simple kitchen towel, okay? As the tortillas come out, just put them in the kitchen towel, cover them up, they'll stay nice and warm, okay? So we've got our kitchen towel here, and then grab something to fold, or to flip the tortillas with. A lot of the time I just use a fork, but just watch, the pan's super hot, and it's gonna go quick. So we're gonna do it about a minute on one side and about 30 seconds on the next. So we just gotta wait till the cast iron pan gets really, really hot. So, like I said, this dough is gonna make about 16 portions. Now the best way to do that, again, not the smartest thing in the world, don't use your knife and cut on a hard surface. I'm gonna do it, but I'm a professional. Don't tell anybody. So cut it in half, right? Cut it in half again, right? And then you cut each one into half. It doesn't look very big, but it's gonna roll out into the perfect size tortilla, okay? So right there we have 8, right? We're just gonna cut them in half, all the way down. So just take your dough, roll it into a ball, a little bit of flour, right? Press it down, either side, and then just start rolling it out. If it does stick, just add a little bit more flour to it. It's not a problem. Now, we don't want to roll it out so thin that you can see through it, but it needs to be pretty thin, okay? So there we go. Perfect tortilla dough. As soon as that gets hot, we're gonna throw it in the pan. You're gonna start seeing it sort of bubbling up. I'm gonna flip it. Another 30 seconds, it'll be done. Okay, so we're just gonna keep going. So we've got them all rolled out. Make sure you're not putting them on top of each other. They'll have a tendency to stick. But essentially, I mean, with the size of the pan we have here, you could probably do 2 at a time. It's just how quick you are. So drop them right into the hot pan. So like I said, you wanna get this screaming hot, and you're gonna start to see it bubble here. That's when you know you're getting close to flipping it over, right? You're starting to get some color on it. It goes super, super quick, right? And then if you're really quick, you can start doing a bunch of different ones at the same time. And like I said, have yourself a kitchen towel handy. All you're gonna do is you're just gonna take these, throw them in here. It's gonna keep them nice and pliable and warm and ready to eat. We're gonna do one other thing in this cast iron pan is we're going to take the done tortillas, we're gonna dip them in the cooking liquid from the turkey that we're gonna see in a second, and we're gonna just re-toast them on here. All right, so we have our tortillas done, and then after 3 hours, magically, we've got the turkey thighs. Okay, so what we're gonna do with these is we're going to transfer the turkey into a bowl. And like I said, this juice in here, so this is a mixture of the onions, a little bit of that water, the bay leaves, everything is sort of broken down. You can make soup with this, you can do all kinds of things. What we're gonna do is we're gonna serve this liquid on the side as a dip, kind of like a French dip. And we're also gonna take the tortillas, dip them in here, throw them back on the cast iron just before we put them together. So the turkey itself, you can see over time, we've got to the point where just with a fork or with a pair of tongs, you can just break it apart. Now you can do 2 things with this. Serve it as is, straight on the taco, which is what we're gonna do. If you want, you can crisp this back up in a pan. But what we're gonna do, because it's a fun way to serve it, I'm gonna take some of this straight onto the board. Right? So this would be a great party idea. I mean, maybe in a different time and place where we can actually share food again. But so the only other thing we're missing on our garnish board is our cranberry sauce, which is thickened up nicely. We can see that the cranberries have started to break down. You can break them down a little bit farther if you want, but it's become jammy, right? It's a little bit sweet, a little bit tart, all delicious. We're gonna take some of our tortillas here. I'm just gonna do a couple, right? Right back in the pan. All right, a little bit of turkey, a little bit of cranberry, a little bit of onion, a little bit of cabbage, a little squeeze of lime, a few cilantro leaves, and that's it. You got your turkey birria tacos.